Hi guys, Gilly Hunt here. Just wanting to share with you a well-known secret, not really a secret at all, but just a way of getting these beautiful products for free. And it's two lovely spools of baker's twine with really nice metallic pieces in them, really sparkly and lovely, and a big a big pot full to the brim of sequins, so full that they've actually gone all over the place. So I'm going to show you a card that I've made using them. So let's just scoop some of those away and I'll tidy them later. There they go. That shows how wonderfully full that pot was. So here goes. I've made this particular card based on a card that I was shown yesterday at our team meeting, and here it is. This was designed for us by Liz Yule, who is a great friend of mine and a wonderful demonstrator. She does some beautiful cards, and she cased it or copied and shared it from Julie Davidson, who I know for a fact has copied and shared the idea from somebody else at some point in time, because I know that I've made similar cards with the same mechanism when I was much younger. But it was so lovely last night to get a reminder of it. And this is the card that Liz made with the ladybird on, which says, "Hey lady, hey, spread your wings and fly." Okay, and that was the card that we made yesterday. I made that card, but based on the design that Liz did for us. So thanks to Liz, but now here's my take on it with a different designer papers. And I hope you're going to like it, and I hope you're going to enjoy the instructions. So the first thing you're going to need is a base card, and I've used Whisper White here, and I've taken a 21 centimetre piece of card, 21 centimetres by 15, and I've folded it in half. So I now have a card which is 15 by 10.5 centimetres. All the measurements are in centimetres. Then I've put some designer paper, and I will show you the papers and the designs at the end of the video today, because I just want to show you how to make it first. So here's the designer paper that I've chosen, and it's 13.5 centimetres by 8.5 centimetres. That's the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to put that to one side. Now I'm going to bring in the next piece, which I'm calling the back plate. And this is a piece of grey, basic grey card, 9 centimetres by 9.5, so a little bit taller, only a little bit taller. And in the centre of that, I've used the classic, here we go, I've used the classic punch to just punch out a hole in the centre. So all I've done is I've popped that in. Let me show you. I've popped it in, and I've found roughly the halfway point, okay? It's a very rough halfway point. And it doesn't really matter, because you'll see as we put it together that it soon vanishes inside the card. And onto that I've just put a few little sequins in the corner from that lovely selection of sequins. And on the back I have put some tear tape along 3 of the sides and along one side of the hole that we punched out, leaving the other side. This is where I've just put these stripes. You don't need to draw the stripes, they're just to remind you and for me to see that this whole area is empty. No tear tape on the edge and no tear tape at the side, so the edge and the sides are both on the same side, which allows us to have an in and out movement for the drawstring in a moment. Okay, so put that to one side. Then we're going to take a 5.5 centimetres, sorry, I said they were all in centimetres, 5.5 centimetres by 5.5 centimetre square, and I've chosen just plain old black. And then a 5 by 5 in Whisper White. And then I've decorated it, and I'll talk a little bit about the decoration at the end of the video. Okay, but I've decorated it to make really what in the old days we used to call a card topper. I'm sure it's still called a topper, but there you go. And then I've taken another little square, 4.5 centimetres by 4.5 centimetres in the Whisper White, and I have written on it, ta-da, because this is going to be the one that opens up in the middle and goes ta-da as a surprise. And again, I've decorated it, which again we'll talk about at the end. And I've put it onto this little tag, and I want to show you this tag the other way around just for a moment first. So here we go, let's just get rid of him as well. We're making this 13 centimetres long and 5 centimetres in width. And at the 5 centimetre point from this end, I have scored a line, and at the 6 centimetre point, I have scored a line. Okay, and then at the far end, where this is the slightly longer end, I have then done a little tag topper. But you could leave it squared off, and you could just put a little hole using something like an ordinary hole punch. And then I've threaded some ribbons through. These are the lovely threads that I showed you at the beginning with that lovely metallic sheen to them. Okay, and at the far end, away from the tapes, I have put 2 pieces of tear tape ready to use. Okay, now if I turn it over, on the other side I have put a piece of tear tape in between. Do you remember those 2 scored lines that we had? Okay, so on the piece in between the 2 scored lines, I've put a piece of tear tape, and I've added my little topper. Okay, now let's get all the pieces back and let's put it together. So here we go. Now, being very careful that I thread this over this side. So what I want to do is I need to loop this. Okay, watch again. So here it is. I've got the side up, which is the side with all the sticky tapes on, and I'm going to thread my little koala in through the hole, and when he folds up, it's going to fold up against this side, and this is why we've got no tape here, because we don't want this to be stuck down. Okay, and now being careful that we get him the right way up, because again, so check that this is opening correctly and making sure that he's on this side. Okay, and keeping him on that side, we're going to take off all of these sticky pieces. Okay, keeping that side firmly in your grip so that you make sure he stays that side. And now we're just going to position this in the centre. Okay. So we're going to stick that down. And the last thing we're going to do, well, last but one actually, is we're going to take this little piece off here, and we are going to stick our front, so this lovely chap that was on the black, we're going to put him centrally, but also right on the edge of that piece of card. He needs, that edge needs to be levelled up. Okay, because what he's going to then be is he's going to be the front of this ta-da. Now we need to fix the ta-da down. And do you remember we had 2 pieces? Well, that's going to be folded down, but the first thing we want to do before we do anything else is we want to wriggle this along and make sure, before we take the tape off, that this is in the centre, because we want this to sit in the centre. We don't want it to be at a funny angle at the side. Okay, so now folding that back carefully so that we don't move this, we're going to take off the 2 pieces of tear tape that we'd put on the back, and now we're just going to very carefully fold that back and press. And as we press, we are sticking down the piece underneath here. Okay, and now we've done that, we have a beautifully acting little card. So we now have our happy birthday koala, who looks very lovely and very jolly. And then when we pull the string, his friend goes, ta-da! Okay, so there is our rather lovely card. Now sometimes it's a little bit springy to start with, so you might want to just use a bone folder and check the edge there. Or you may even want to just put it under a heavy book just to get it to settle down. And then your ta-da will be even more impressive. Okay, ta-da! Now what I've then done is, just to complete it on the inside, I've put one of the sayings from the set that I used. And now I'll show you the set that I've used. Okay, so here is the set that I've used to make this. And why have I left it to the end? Because this is where you're going to find out about how to get that free offer. So here is the wonderful paper set, absolutely beautiful, all 12 by 12s. So you can hardly see it because I'm having to crush them all up together here to get them even onto the camera. With toucans, with lovely, what are they? Not umbrellas. Balloons. I was going to call them umbrellas. They're balloons. And then on the reverse of that, we have this lovely orange paper. So 2 lots of toucans, 2 lots of orange. It's up to you which you use. There's our koalas. There's our blue. There's ice creams. There's candles. There's wonderful jolly lions. And so on and so on. And even some teeny tiny weeny ones. And some stripes and some balloons. And of course the one we used at the beginning, which is these lovely birthday present patterns. All wonderfully coordinated, and they go so beautifully, I'm sure you'll agree, colour-wise, with the free items that I was talking about at the beginning. Okay, so how do we go about getting these things? Well, first and foremost, I'm going to suggest that you really will want to buy those papers, and you'll also want to buy this lovely stamp set, because this is the stamp set that has all the pieces of the jigsaw that you'll want. The happy birthday, the let's celebrate you, and some lovely creatures that you can put together yourself. So if you bought the Bonza stamp, which is this one, and there is a die set that goes with it that cuts it out. If you buy the Bonza stamp and die set, it's £36. And then if you buy the designer paper, it's £10.75, which when I do my sums makes £46.75. Well, there's a special offer on at the moment. We call it Celebration. And for Celebration, if you spend £45, you get the choice from this wonderful brochure of free stuff. You can't buy this stuff. It's only available free as part of your spend. And in amongst all of these things, if I can find it, there it is, on page 7, is free with every £45 you spend. The metallic baker's twine and sequins combo pack. So you could choose that. If you want to, you could choose any one of the other things too. Have a look through the celebrations. Now, if you're wanting to do that, please let me know. Come shop with me at gillyhunt.com, but also go onto my blog page and I will tell you just how to get hold of a celebration booklet from me. Okay, thanks very much. Hope you've enjoyed that little make for you. Bye-bye.